If you want to be unstoppable from reaching your potential, you need to master these life-changing lessons from Seneca. Picture this. A year from now, you're looking back at this moment. The challenges that seem insurmountable today have become the very things that shaped you. What if every failure you're experiencing right now becomes the foundation of your greatest triumphs? That's exactly the kind of transformation we're exploring as we delve into Seneca's life and philosophy. But before we dive in, let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered why some people rise stronger after failure, while others crumble under its weight? What if I told you that one of the most brilliant minds of ancient philosophy, Lucius Annaeus Seneca, built his success on the very foundation of his failures? Here's something fascinating to consider. Studies show that the fear of failure is one of the biggest barriers to success. Yet Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, faced failure head-on and transformed it into a stepping stone. How did he do it? And more importantly, how can you? Stick with me as I tell you a short story about Seneca to show you how you can embrace and overcome failure in ways that will change your future forever. Seneca's story is not one of unbroken success. He was once a promising young philosopher and statesman, praised for his intellect and eloquence. However, his rising career was derailed when he was accused of adultery with Emperor Claudius's niece, Julia Livilla, leading to his exile on the remote island of Corsica for 8 years. During this period of disgrace, Seneca might have given in to despair. Instead, he turned inward, writing some of his most profound philosophical works, which later solidified his reputation. Upon his return, Seneca not only regained prominence, but became a trusted advisor to Emperor Nero, wielding immense influence. Yet, even this success was fraught with challenges, as his association with Nero led to political entanglements and eventual accusations of conspiracy. Despite this, Seneca's resilience and writings endured, showcasing how failure and success are deeply intertwined. Yet today, he is remembered not for his stumbles, but for his resilience, wisdom, and ability to turn obstacles into opportunities. Imagine yourself overcoming setbacks as he did, emerging stronger, wiser, and more determined. His life offers a roadmap, a blueprint, for anyone who feels overwhelmed by setbacks. It's a lesson in mastering failure, not avoiding it. Seneca's story is not one of unbroken success. He was once a promising young philosopher and statesman, praised for his intellect and eloquence. However, his rising career was derailed when he was accused of adultery with Emperor Claudius's niece, Julia Livilla, leading to his exile on the remote island of Corsica, where he spent 8 long years. During this time, he reflected deeply on life and composed works that would later cement his legacy as a philosopher. In this period of disgrace, Seneca might have given in to despair. Instead, he turned inward, writing some of his most profound philosophical works, which later solidified his reputation. Agrippina, Nero's mother, was a politically astute figure and had observed that Seneca's exile had refined him as a thinker and strategist. When she needed an advisor to help guide Nero, she saw in Seneca not only a man of wisdom and eloquence, but someone who had endured hardship and emerged stronger. His proven resilience and ability to navigate adversity made him an ideal candidate for shaping her son's education and future rule. Upon his return to Rome, Seneca not only regained prominence, but became a trusted advisor to Emperor Nero, wielding immense influence. Yet even this success was fraught with challenges, as his association with Nero led to political entanglements and eventual accusations of conspiracy. Despite this, Seneca's resilience and writings endured, showcasing how failure and success are deeply intertwined. Yet today, he is remembered not for his stumbles, but for his resilience, wisdom, and ability to turn obstacles into opportunities. Imagine yourself overcoming setbacks as he did, emerging stronger, wiser, and more determined. His life offers a roadmap, a blueprint, for anyone who feels overwhelmed by setbacks. It's a lesson in mastering failure, not avoiding it. Now let's dive into the first principle that shaped Seneca's ability to overcome failure: understanding the nature of control. The Stoics believed that much of life is outside your control. Think about it. Can you control what others say about you? Can you prevent every setback or ensure that every plan goes perfectly? No. What you can control, however, is your response. Seneca embraced this truth deeply. When he was exiled to Corsica, a seemingly devastating blow, he didn't allow despair to take over. Instead, he focused on what he could control: his mindset and his actions. He used his time in exile to write, reflect, and deepen his philosophical understanding. Now, if you were in a similar situation, how would your life transform if you redirected your energy from external outcomes to internal resilience? Imagine 1 year from now, you've taken this Stoic principle to heart. The frustrations of your daily life, unmet expectations, unfair criticism, unexpected challenges, no longer feel like insurmountable burdens. Instead, they're opportunities for you to exercise your inner strength, just as Seneca did. What difference could that make to your relationships, your career, and your sense of peace? Seneca's reflections during exile reveal a vital lesson. Life's external disruptions cannot disturb an internal sense of purpose unless we let them. This concept echoes a central Stoic tenet that your mind is your own, impervious to external events if you train it to be. Picture yourself in a similar situation. Would you focus on the external hardship or use that time to build yourself from within? This practice of redirecting energy from complaint to creation is a key skill you can hone every day, whether you're dealing with workplace stress or personal setbacks. Now let's explore a second Stoic principle Seneca lived by, seeing failure as a chance to practice virtue. Seneca believed that adversity is the forge in which virtues like courage, patience, and wisdom are tempered. Failure, in this sense, isn't a curse. It's a test. Think about the last time you faced a setback. Did it test your patience, your humility, your ability to persevere? Seneca would argue that these moments are your greatest opportunities to practice the virtues that define a strong character. Imagine viewing your own failures not as evidence of inadequacy, but as opportunities to grow stronger in character. Fast forward to a year from now, and picture yourself having embraced this philosophy. Each failure has become a stepping stone, each setback a chance to practice courage and resilience. How much more confident, grounded, and capable could you feel if you started seeing challenges not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to grow? And this brings us to a third key lesson from Seneca's life: reframing failure as feedback. One of Seneca's most famous insights is that failure is not falling down, but refusing to get up. He didn't see failure as an endpoint, but as a signal, a lesson. When you fail, you're not being told you're incapable. You're being shown a path to improvement. Let's say you've started a project and it flopped. Instead of seeing it as a reason to quit, ask yourself, what did this teach me? For Seneca, setbacks were like a sculptor's chisel, shaping him into a wiser, more resilient person. When his writings were criticized or misunderstood, he didn't stop writing. He adjusted, he learned, and he grew. Could you do the same? Could you take your own setbacks and use them as stepping stones to something greater? Picture yourself looking back a year from now, realizing that each failure was a catalyst for growth. Each misstep helped you refine your approach. Each rejection taught you resilience. How would your perspective shift if you knew that every stumble was paving the way for your success? Halfway through his life, Seneca faced one of his most significant failures, a political scandal that could have ruined him. Instead of allowing it to define him, he leaned on another Stoic principle: preparation for adversity. The Stoics often practiced premeditatio malorum, or premeditation of evils. This exercise involves imagining the worst-case scenarios and mentally preparing for them. Seneca practiced this regularly, which allowed him to meet adversity with calm and clarity rather than panic. Have you ever tried this? Picture the worst that could happen in a challenging situation. How would you handle it? By visualizing adversity, you're less likely to be paralyzed by it when it arrives. It's not about dwelling on negativity, it's about building your mental armor. Now imagine the kind of confidence you'd carry if you adopted this practice. A few months from now, you might find yourself walking into stressful situations, a tough negotiation, a daunting presentation, with a calm assurance. You've already rehearsed the worst-case scenario in your mind and prepared yourself to handle it. How different would your life feel if fear no longer dictated your actions? Seneca's approach to failure wasn't just about resilience. It was about finding meaning in the struggle. He once wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." Consider this: what if every challenge you face is preparing you for something greater? Seneca saw life as a series of lessons, each one designed to help you grow. When you adopt this mindset, failure becomes less intimidating. It's no longer a dead end. It's a detour that can lead to unexpected opportunities. Think about a time in your life when failure taught you a valuable lesson. Would you trade that lesson for a smoother path? Probably not. Seneca understood that the wisdom gained through adversity is priceless. Let's pause for a moment. How do you handle failure in your own life? Do you let it define you, or do you use it to refine you? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspective. And now, let's return to Seneca and the ultimate Stoic insight he offers us: gratitude, even in failure. This might sound counterintuitive. Why be grateful for failure? Because, as Seneca taught, every failure carries a lesson, and every lesson is a gift. He once wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Think about that. The very challenges you resent today could be the forces that shape you into someone extraordinary tomorrow. When Seneca faced his final trial, being ordered to take his own life, he met it with dignity, gratitude, and grace. He saw even this ultimate failure of his political life as an opportunity to demonstrate the Stoic ideals he had preached. Seneca's final days were a testament to his belief in the power of perspective. As he prepared for death, he didn't see it as a failure, but as the natural conclusion of a life lived with purpose. In his letters and essays, he reminded his readers that death itself is not to be feared, but the fear of it can paralyze us. How often do we let fear of failure, of rejection, of the unknown, keep us from reaching our potential. Seneca's life encourages us to face those fears head-on, knowing that even the worst outcomes can lead to profound growth. So how can you apply Seneca's wisdom to your own life? Let's summarize. 1. Recognize what is within your control and focus your energy there. Stop wasting time and emotional energy on things you cannot change. 2. See failure as a chance to practice virtue. Use setbacks to cultivate qualities like patience, resilience, and humility. 3. Reframe failure as feedback. Instead of seeing it as an endpoint, view it as a lesson that points the way forward. 3. Prepare for adversity by imagining the worst-case scenarios. This practice builds mental toughness and reduces fear. 4. Embrace gratitude, even for failure. Understand that every setback is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become a better version of yourself. 5. Look for meaning in every struggle. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me? And use that lesson to build a stronger foundation for your future. 6. Face fear head-on, knowing that it often exaggerates the stakes. Trust that even the hardest trials can lead to transformative growth. Now, imagine if you started living like this today. Imagine seeing each obstacle not as a roadblock, but as a stepping stone. How much more resilient, focused, and fulfilled could you be? That's the power of Stoicism, the power of Seneca's wisdom. Before we wrap up, let me leave you with one final thought. The next time you encounter failure, don't ask, why is this happening to me? Instead ask, what is this teaching me? That shift in perspective could change everything. Remember, failure isn't the end. It's the beginning of something greater. Thank you for watching, and if this resonated with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Together, let's keep learning and growing, just like Seneca would have wanted us to.